So we're back with another video on Sparking Zero, and today we're basically just going to be going through all of the meta things that you've probably been seeing online and seeing people cheese you with, and we're going to be countering it all, man. I could have broke this down into quite a few videos, but I decided just to give it to you all in one video just so this can help any type of people that are coming for some things to try to get better at the game, man. But if this is anything you might be interested in, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell, do all those nice things. Let me know in the comments what are you having issues with like in this game and actually getting through, and we can make some more videos like this. And today's anime question is going to be, what is your favorite defensive mechanic in Sparking Zero? We have things like perception, also the Z counter. Let me know in the comments, man, what is your favorite defensive technique in this game? And if you want to see more anime game content, make sure to join the Discord pinned in the description. We'll be covering this game more in the future, but let's go ahead and hop straight into this video. The first thing is going to be something that you probably actually ran into online, and that's going to be Backshot. And basically explain what this is basically whenever an opponent is doing a combo string and they can actually do a smash attack that can turn you around, or this can also just come from them just teleporting and getting behind you. But the way to actually get out of this, because you can't block. If you didn't know, this game is all about angles, so if somebody's hitting you from an angle where you're not blocking, they're going to be able to just punish you. And if they're punishing you from behind, there's not really much you can do. There's not really any vanishing, but you can use super counters. But this is actually one of the most difficult counter techniques in this game, and the timing has to be on par with this, man. So I recommend you actually get into the lab, especially lab with popular characters. Try to get the movement down of whenever they're hitting you. You have to press up and square on the face buttons to get this off properly. So I definitely recommend you try this out and try to practice this. But there's also an easier way to get out of this, but you want to actually try to manage this, and this is revenge counter. You can use revenge counter, but it's going to take 2 skill points. So you need to make sure you have enough points, and I wouldn't recommend just using this every time somebody starts hitting you with a back shot. I recommend that you actually wait and you make sure that this is when you want to use these points, because you want to try to manage these things. The next thing is going to be giant characters. Well, I haven't really ran into many people cheesing me with the giant characters yet. I know that people have trouble with it, and I didn't really want to give y'all this tip, man, because I like to use giant characters to cheese people. But if you didn't know, smash attacks are going to be very good for getting with giant characters. Specifically, I recommend you do the up smash. The down smash isn't really going to do anything too much, but if you up smash, you're actually going to get them up into the air, and using your lift attacks, this is going to allow you to get some good damage. There's also some ultimates. Well, actually, there's only one ultimate that gets through it, and it's going to be the Dragon Fist that you can actually use with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but this is only the one with the Goku in. For some reason, that doesn't work with GT Goku, and it also doesn't work whenever he's in the mini form, only when he's in the fully adult Goku in form, so that's the only one that works. There's also other things that you can use. You can use Perception. Perception does stun them. This is actually a very good counter. And also, revenge counter does work for giant characters, but you're not going to stun them, and you're going to have to be using a skill point. So I definitely recommend just using your lift attacks and also your perception. Healing is another issue that people have been having in this game, and it's people using the Senzu Bean mainly. I don't really think people are really having issues with regeneration, but the way to actually deal with the Senzu Bean, especially from Yajirobe, is just by rushing him. You just need to rush him and try to make him waste his skill points. Now, if you're playing a smart character, they're not going to use their skill points, and they're going to wait, and they're going to try to get their health back, but I recommend you just try to get the most amount of damage that you can off, because if they're not using their skill points, that means they're probably not getting out of your combos. So I'd recommend you just rush them, and also using something that we actually talked about in the first tip, using backshots. Using combos that actually turn them around and actually hit them when they can't get out of the combos is going to allow you to get the most damage that you can on Yajirobe before he can get the Senzu Bean off. The next thing is going to be Afterimage Strike. I know a lot of people have been having issues with this. If you don't know what Afterimage Strike is, it's basically a skill that allows you to dodge any melee or ki blast for 15 seconds, which is pretty crazy. Not normal ki blast, but super ki blast, so any type of beam. And that's actually what leads into the counter. If you do a normal smash ki blast or just normal rush ki blast, this is actually going to hit them when they're in Afterimage Strike. It does not allow you to counter just normal ki blast. So you can use this to get a little bit of damage off or just keep them off of you. And you also just need to make sure you're watching your skill points, because Afterimage Strikes takes around 3 skill points. So if you see your opponent only has like 1 or 2 skill points, then you're fine to pop an ultimate or, you know, try to get some damage off. But if you see they have like 5 to 6 skill points, I probably wouldn't use your ultimate right now, because they're probably going to hit you with Afterimage Strike. And one thing to keep in mind is that even though Ki Blast gets through it, until the 15 seconds is up, you're still not going to be able to hit them with melee strikes. If you try to come with some Ki Blast and then come in with your ultimate, they're going to vanish it. So you need to wait until that 15 seconds is actually up. And grabs will also work with this, so make sure you implement your grabs when you're dealing with this move as well. The next thing is going to be unblockable ultimates. There's quite a few unblockable ultimates. I'll probably end up pinning a video that I watched that had all the unblockable ultimates in the game. I know for sure there's things like, you know, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, whenever he was in the Cell arc. There's a lot of moves. I know most of the spirit bombs, most of the explosion moves are actually unblockable moves. And some ways that you can actually counter this: for one, you can use Afterimage Strike, what we just talked about, or just using Afterimage. Afterimage itself, just a normal one that just allows you to dodge one strike, is probably not going to work for the explosion things like Vegeta's final explosion, but this is going to work for just normal beam moves and stuff like that. Also barriers, but not the combo breakers. So I'm not talking about the explosive wave. I'm talking about things like Android barrier and things like that. This is going to allow you to actually nullify beam ultimates and some rush ultimates. It depends on which one it is, because some will actually go through the barrier. So I'd mainly recommend you using this with beams. And also, of course, there's dodging, but you know, hey, you wouldn't be coming here if dodging was working for you. And the last cheese is going to be Android 19 and Dr. Jiro's armored grab. If you don't know, there's a cheese going on around right now where people use false courage and they get armor, and then they just start hitting you with a combo string, or they let you combo them because since they're armored, they're not going to stagger, and then they grab you and they get their health back, and they just keep doing it over and over again because false courage only takes one skill point. One fix that I think they could do with this is just, you know, maybe making it take a little bit more skill points, but also they could just make it, you can get through this. There are some ways to get through this, and one thing is smash attacks. If you use smash attacks, this is going to stagger them even if they are in that armor form. Also side attacks. You got to make sure that you're doing side dashes and stuff like that. You're starting to get, you know, you try to get the pattern of when your opponent is grabbing. And another thing is just countering the grab. You don't have to sit there and take the grab. If they're trying to grab you, you can counter it just by pressing the counter button, and you'll slap their hand around. You can actually see Jiren doing this to me multiple times while I'm trying to cheese him. So you just got to make sure you have your timing right. But those are basically going to be all the tips for all the things, you know, all the meta things that we wanted to cover today. Let me know in the comments any other things that y'all are having issues with, and, you know, depending on what it is, you know, might make a full video or a short over it and things like that. But let me know if this video helped y'all out and stuff like that. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell, do all those nice things, and I'm going to see you on the next Sparking Zero video, man. We up.